So your definition of consciousness, in a sense, is that of which we become aware, that which triggers a retrievable impression. Is that fair?
Exactly. And the criterion for that is that you can report it. You can speak about it, or you can report it in your motor gestures, and you can store it in your memory. So there are a number of behavioral criteria that we all use to say that someone was aware of a piece of information. So that's one meaning of consciousness. Now, of course, there is a second one, which is so-called intransitive consciousness, which is the meaning of vigilance. When you wake up in the morning, you regain consciousness, and you lose it when you fall asleep or when you're anesthetized. So we're trying to make progress on both meanings, and it turns out that both are related because they point to the same sort of brain network.
So would it be the relationship where this vigilant consciousness is almost, this is a very crude comparison, but almost like a carrier wave upon which these transient images and impressions come and are later recorded? Or is that jumping the gun? And
yes, that's not a bad metaphor. Essentially, when we wake up in the morning, we regain consciousness. We regain the ability to have these centralized states that are synchronized across the cortex, and each of these states is a particular state of consciousness. Our consciousness constantly changes, maybe 3-4 times per second, to a different object of thought. So the ability to have this sequence of states is what we call consciousness in the intransitive sense. That's what we regain when we come out of coma, for instance. Once we are in this state, then we can have a chain of mental events. Each of them is an event of access to consciousness.